Hi, I'm Mark and I'm passionate about English, and this is the very last mini lesson. I've been doing free mini lessons in June, July and August, and so this is the 92nd free mini lesson. You can find them on Facebook, Passionate About English, or on YouTube, Passionate About ENG, and yeah, I'm happy and sad. I'm happy because this has taken up a lot of my time. It's taken up a great deal of my time. And I'm sad because I've really enjoyed doing the mini lessons. But I've really, the past week or so, I've been concentrating on getting course 1 ready for September the 2nd. It may not be ready for September the 2nd, 6 p.m. September the 2nd was my deadline. The very latest it will be ready is Thursday, 6 p.m. So if you go to the website passionateaboutenglish.com and it's still not ready, don't worry, it will definitely be ready on Thursday. The problem is I sort of promised at least 3 hours for each lesson, 4 lessons in course 1. But it's looking like they're going to be about 5 hours each lesson, and that means a lot of editing, a lot of uploading. So it's taking quite a while. So for today's mini lesson, I'm actually going to put on something from lesson 3. And this is an interview with Terry, and Terry was a fireman and now he's kind of an entertainer for old people, and he gives some very he's very clear with his language, and he also explains several idioms connected with fire, get on like a house on fire, a baptism of fire, and so on. Okay, so enjoy that, and that will actually be in lesson 3. So this is a good example of what's in the courses, and there's so much more. I'm doing all kinds of things in each course: interviews, questionnaires, readings, idioms, phrasal verbs, collocations, tips on how to learn English, pronunciation, some naughty words. Look at a song, really so much stuff in each lesson. It will keep you going for quite a long time, each lesson. And then after Terry, I'm going to just put a very brief clip from, today I went down to Bournemouth Beach. Today is the 3rd day of a 4-day Bournemouth Air show. And at 12 o'clock at midday, the Red Arrows did a 10-minute display. But I'll just put on about a minute, and of course if you want to see the whole 10 minutes, you'll need to sign up for the course. Really, these courses are very, very cheap, £10 each course. It's a bargain. It's dirt cheap, and I think you'll find them very useful. It's just a very different way to help you improve your English. I could say it's a supplementary way, a complementary way to what you're doing at the moment, maybe in high school, or maybe in a language school, or maybe by yourself. However you're learning English, I'm sure this will really help you, and hopefully it will entertain you as well. It's really good to learn in a fun way, in an enjoyable way. So that's it, and thank you if you've been watching all the mini lessons. Well done. If you haven't watched them all yet, please do. They're free and they will surely help you with your English. Okay, that's it. Thanks a lot and enjoy this mini lesson. Okay, so I'm with Terry, who I've known for quite a long time, and I'm just going to ask him about what he does for a living. So Terry, what do you do?
Well, I'm semi-retired. That means half retired.
Yeah.
I used to be a fireman, and then they found out how old I was, and of course threw me out. So I had to retire, and I now just do entertaining. I entertain in nursing homes for old people, and I go with my dog, and they love the dog, and she does some tricks if I bribe her with some sausage or biscuit. And I play my ukulele, and I do poetry, and we have a sing-song, and it's a nice happy afternoon. So I do a little bit of entertaining with nursing homes.
An hour or two? Or?
Yes, an hour at a time. Yes,
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
And what, you go there each week, is it?
Yes, I've got several, and I just go whatever, once a month or whatever, whatever they require, really, just to keep them happy and to keep them on their toes.
On their toes.
On their
yes.
toes.
So
yes.
that means keep them lively.
They keep them lively,
interested.
interested in life.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that 2 years now, so
Okay.
since I retired.
And
yeah.
I imagine you're really good at it.
Well, how can I answer that, Mark? Honestly. Let's
Well,
say lots of people want me and my dog.
Well, I know you're a very positive person and creative, and I'm sure they look forward to your visits.
Well, I use the word variety. We need variety in life, don't we? Different things, and that's what I use. I use poetry, singing, I use quizzes, musical quizzes, always music and lots of singing,
Yeah.
and that's variety. So it gives them an afternoon of enjoyment and laughter.
And we have an expression in English, don't we? Variety is the spice of life.
Exactly.
So if you
yes.
always do the same thing, life gets a bit boring,
It
maybe.
gets a bit boring with a treble O, not a double O. So yes, boring.
Boring.
Boring,
Okay,
yes.
Okay, so you mentioned you were a, I don't know, how do you describe it? A fireman, a firefighter?
Well, they call it firefighter now. In my days, it was a fireman because we didn't have fire women.
I
And now,
see.
of course, we have fire women, which is great. And so they have to call it firefighter now.
Okay. When did you become, how old were you when you became
I
a fireman?
was 26 when I
Wow.
was a fireman, and I was a fireman for 28 years
Gosh.
in the Bournemouth area and Poole area, which is in England, southern England.
Okay, and any interesting stories?
Lots. Oh, well, now you want to hear one, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What was the, I don't know if you can remember, what was the most frightening experience?
Frightening. Probably a great big fire in a bus depot, and oxyacetylene cylinders, which are used for welding. I expect lots of you know these great big cylinders used in workshops. And when they reach a certain temperature, they explode, which is not funny. And so we didn't know what temperature they were. We had to go in there and pick them up and carry them out. And it was, I think we can say it in English, a little hairy.
Hairy, yes.
Yes, which means a little bit frightening.
Well, very.
That sort of thing would go on, but you just did it because it was your job.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And I guess you also came across people who had died in fires.
Oh, yes, yeah. All firemen will find that, and you just have to cope with that. It's very sad, but it's a fact of life.
So
and,
you carried people out sometimes
yeah, sure.
who died? And
Sure, and we went to road accidents, lots of road accidents as well. So, yeah, we don't, we don't dwell on that. We carry on and be positive. But
yeah, you try to forget it or block it out, or
a bit of both, really.
Yeah.
We talk about it.
Yeah.
The guys will come back and maybe have a lunch afterwards or whatever with the meal, because we all gathered around as a team.
Yeah.
And we would discuss it. Mostly we would discuss if we could have done it any better. So the professionalism would come out. We would have a laugh, and there'll be black humour. We didn't mean it as, that's another English expression,
Yeah.
isn't it? Black humour.
Yeah.
Where you're not really being funny, but it does help you take these facts on board, especially if there are children involved. It was really harrowing.
Harrowing just means awful, doesn't it? Really
yes,
awful.
yes,
Yeah.
really awful, really shocking.
Yeah.
But there was lots and lots of funny things happen. The public, well, at least the English public, I don't know about the rest of the world, are very strange sometimes and very funny. But for instance, I went to a fire once, and it was a big house, very big, and we couldn't find anybody in. We could see smoke coming out. We went round the back door, and there was French doors, which are doors that open out like this onto the garden.
Yeah.
And we opened the French doors, and there was this poor old lady sat in a chair, and the chair was on fire.
Oh.
And she was on fire.
Oh, no.
So, okay, we take her out, put the fire out, call the ambulance, etc. in between we have to talk to people to keep their nerves, and and it helps them. So I said to her, is there anybody else in the house? Who called the fire brigade? She said, no, I'm on my own. I phoned the fire brigade. And I said, but you were in the chair that was burning. She said, yes. And I said, why did you go back into the chair that was burning? And she said, do you know what? It's the only comfortable chair in the house. Which was very funny, but that was black humour, really, because it was sad, very sad.
Yeah.
Yes, so that sort of thing happens. And yeah, that's life.
It sounds like a fascinating career.
It was. You never knew what was going to happen that day or that night. You never knew, and that's what made it so varied.
Yeah.
Again, variety.
And did you rescue any cats from?
I did. Many, yes. I think one memorable one that you probably want to know about is in the high street in Poole, which is very, very high, and there was a cat right up on the gutter. That's the edge of the roof, and it looked very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
And we put up a very long ladder, and a crowd of people gathered, and they watched me go up with great big long leather gloves and a big bag.
Yeah.
And the idea was to rescue this poor cat. I made a grab at the cat, missed, and the cat fell 3 floors to the ground, hit the ground on all 4 feet, shook itself and ran off. And everybody in the crowd clapped. And I turned on the ladder and made a lovely bow like this.
And actually, I just thought of an idiom. I don't know if you can explain it. To let the cat. You didn't get the cat in the bag, but the idiom is to let the cat out of the bag.
Out of the bag. That's a good one. Yes. Well, that just means what? To let a secret. Yes, it's difficult.
Maybe you bought a present for your wife.
Exactly.
And I told her, maybe accidentally or.
Yes.
And so it was a secret, but I kind
let
of
the cat out of the bag. You didn't want to, but she found out because he blabbed. He said something, which is yes, letting the cat out of the bag. That's another nice English one.
Very nice. Okay, so maybe you can explain some fire idioms connected with fire.
I'll try.
So a very easy one, and I don't know if it's true, if you agree. We get on like a house on fire.
Oh, well, we probably do, yes. We're good friends and we get on well together.
Yeah.
And it's an English saying that we get on like a house on fire. Don't ask me where it came
Yeah,
from.
it's strange because it sounds negative, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, but it's actually, again, a little bit of black English humour there, I think. Yeah.
Okay. What about... let's say you go to do one of your shows in the afternoon. Maybe it was the first time, and you come home, and Sylvia, your wife, asks, "How did it go?" And you say, "Well, it didn't set the world on fire."
Ah, that's another one. Mine always do, by the way. But didn't set the world on fire means that you weren't quite happy with it. It could have been better.
Yeah.
Well,
you were disappointed.
Disappointed with your own show, if you like. Yeah. So that is didn't set the world on fire.
Fantastic. How about let's say your dog, well,
the one that's making a lot of noise in the background.
She's very friendly, but let's say she's not so friendly, and I never met her before, and I start playing, and you could say, be careful, you're playing with fire.
Oh yes, well that means you're playing with danger. You could, because if you're playing with fire, as you know, you could burn yourself.
Yes.
So that means you're playing with fire. You have to be a little careful. Yeah. That's
or
right.
I meet a girl who has some kind of a reputation.
Oh, a reputation.
And you say, I'd be careful, Mark, you're playing with fire.
Well, that's another way of looking at it. Yes, exactly.
How about you you invest your millions of pounds from your entertaining, and you lose the money, and, well, I've kind of explained it, but you say, my money went up in smoke.
Oh, yes, that means you could say if you went into a betting shop and you put your wages, your weekly wage, your salary, onto a horse, that's going to win, and it doesn't. That means your wages went up in smoke.
Up in smoke.
That's just a saying. Really.
Disappeared, isn't it?
It's like setting fire to pound notes or £5 notes, as is our case.
Yeah. Do you have any old flames? It's quite hot today, isn't it?
Old flames. Yes, but at my age, you forget. An old flame is an old girlfriend. And of course, when you're married, you don't mention old flames. No.
And it's often, would we say a boyfriend is an old flame? I think it's really used for women, isn't it?
It's used with romance, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, a woman wouldn't call a man an old flame so much. Well, I'm not
yes,
sure.
she would. Yeah, I think so. I think it's with partners. Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
Okay.
So it would have been a partner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're trying to forget them, see, because you've got a new one.
Okay. Well, the next one actually connects with that one. So if let's say you had a lot of girlfriends, but you burn your bridges.
Oh wow, that's an interesting one. You burn your bridges is when you do something that you can't go back on. Would you say?
Yeah. And also you try and leave it, forget it.
Yes, that's right. You make a decision that you might regret later. You burn your bridges, but you can't go back on it. You've done it, and that's it. And that's what we would say in English, that you've burnt your bridges now. You can't do it. That's it.
Okay, so well, actually, you mentioned your age a few times. Well, you mentioned your...
No, not many
you
times.
Didn't, but how old are you, Terry?
Well, I'm, as the English would say in bingo, clickety-click, 66.
66, but obviously you look
much younger. It's the beard.
So at 66, do you have a burning ambition, or...
No, just enjoy life.
So, but a burning ambition is when you really want to do something.
Absolutely. And many years ago I had a burning ambition to buy a house in France and renovate it.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Yeah.
It took many years, but I did it. So that my burning ambition came true. But that's what you would say is a burning ambition. Yes.
Could be with work, but could be other things.
It could be other things, like playing the ukulele better.
Okay.
That could be my burning ambition.
All right, here's another one with fire. Whew, we've got a wasp. Let's say again, maybe your first show at old people's home, and things went wrong. Somehow you broke a string on your ukulele, or the dog did a poo.
No, my dog wouldn't.
And we would call that a baptism of fire.
Oh wow, yes, that's a good one. That means, well, more or less that everything went wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it might be a baptism, of course, is the first thing. That's what they do in church to babies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Baptize them, and so that is the first step of life, if you like. And if you had a show already, and you had your maiden show, say your first show, and it went wrong, that could be a baptism of fire. Yes.
If it went well, you wouldn't really say that. But
no, you wouldn't use it. No, that's right.
Okay, how about this one? A blaze is a big fire, isn't it?
Yes,
but
yes.
I don't know what goes on. Well, we say what goes on behind closed doors, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So
yes.
Between a man and a wife, and obviously people don't know everything.
No.
So I don't know. Do you ever have a blazing row with Sylvia?
Now that's a good one as well, isn't it? A blazing row means a real good argument, or row as we call it. Yes. I better say no, hadn't I?
Or okay.
Not often.
Okay, how about a heated argument?
Heated argument, that means quite a difficult and quite a, how would you say, angry argument.
Yeah.
No. I'm playing safe.
Playing safe, exactly. Okay, Terry, fantastic explanations. I hope people understand them, and as always, I would recommend you check these out in the dictionary as well. And it's not just about learning these idioms and explaining. It's hearing two people talk naturally in English and seeing how we do it, and the pronunciation of words and everything else. So much better than reading these in a book, isn't it?
In a book, absolutely, yes.
Okay, Terry, thanks ever so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Now into the left-hand side at 400 miles an hour. This is the Typhoon Loop. aircraft now accelerate back to 400 miles an hour at the bottom of this loop in Sydney. Middle of the left-hand wing as we left no longer the last of our first gear pilots. That's ref 5, Flight Lieutenant Steve Norris. Steve's another former Hawk flying instructor who's then promoted into the Harrier TR9, but unfortunately